Today, Ted's talking about buying land for beginners at property tax auctions. And before our conversation's done, Ted will reveal the biggest mistake that first-time land buyers make before that auction even happens.
Welcome, everyone. You're going to enjoy this because we're going to talk about buying land for beginners. I've been in the tax defaulted business for well over 30 years, and I've seen all different kinds of things, but I didn't realize when I got in, but once I started looking at the auction list, I found out 25% of the properties on the tax defaulted list are properties that you could buy for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
So Ted, for beginners in real estate investing arena, who may be singularly focused on investing in houses. Now, I don't know if buying land is more or less complicated than buying houses at tax sales auctions, but why don't you talk to us about buying land for beginners?
When a beginner wants to buy something, they have to learn a lot. So you probably want to make a list, write down a list of all the things that you want to check on the land. Now, of course, if you hire a land broker, that's always a good idea as against hiring a regular real estate broker because they'll teach you all about the land. But let's think about land. So you could have open land, just natural land that would be called raw land, or you could have land in the subdivision. I love subdivisions because the streets are all in, the utilities are in, you can measure the lot real easy, and it already has an appraised value. So I love those kind of lots. But if you're going to buy natural land is raw land, if you're going to buy that kind of land, you need to think about, does it have water? How about that? Does it have roads? And if it has a road, is it a gravel road or is it a paved road? All right. What else would you need other than water? Don't forget, we don't want to be living off the grid. We want to have a house that has power, right? So it has to have power. So the beginners make a lot of mistakes on that. They say, oh, I like this. It looks so beautiful. Well, if it doesn't have power and it doesn't have water, and what about drainage? What if it rains and it ends up as a big puddle there? You wouldn't want that. So those are mistakes that beginners make all the time. The big things we'll talk about in a minute, but we're going to talk about sometimes other people take some of your land. They move their fence over there. So you might want to have a survey and things like that. So we'll talk about that as we go along. So first of all, is land a great investment? I'm going to tell you the big money buys land. Why do they buy land? Because they want to protect themselves from inflation. All right, now there's all kinds of investments. Now let's think about this. We could have residential. We could have recreational. How about if you bought agricultural? People buy agricultural because they want that investment money returning to them. In other words, they put row crops in. What's that? That's, how about lettuce? How about strawberries, things like that? So some land actually will make you money right away. Yes, land is a good investment. Are you going to get rich by next Friday? No way. Tax defaulted land, you're going to probably buy 10 or 20 cents on the dollar compared to buying it in the retail market. So how's that sound? All right, so here's the big deal about land. If you're in your car and you drive out there and you look, it all looks the same. It just all looks the same. Maybe it has some trees and some grass and whatever. Okay, what are you going to use the land for? Is it development land? In other words, do you want to buy land where the developer can come in and make a road and then they can build separate lots? Do you want that? Or do you want land that's going to be used as agricultural land? Or maybe you want to have land that you can run all-terrain vehicles on or whatever. So you're going to have to do some kind of due diligence on that land. Now, I mentioned a few minutes ago, 3 very important things, no matter what the land is always the water. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, the power. That's number 2. Number 3 is always going to be the drainage. And then I added to that, think about, does it have roads or not? Because you're going to have to build roads. If you buy open land and you're going to have to develop in other parts of it, you need to have done your due diligence. What's the topography? Is it up and down like this, or is it nice flat land? So you need to think about some of those things before you do it. Now, can you learn all that overnight? No, you should start studying that. But you know what I'd do first? The first thing I would do is, how do you situate yourself with money? Are you a cash buyer or are you going to finance it? This business has been around for 200 years. And what happens is every county in the United States, there's 3,000 plus counties. If the property owner does not pay the property tax, first of all, the legislature makes the rule. The rule in every state is property owners must pay tax. If they don't pay the tax, all right, then what's going to happen? They're going to put the property in default. And that property is going to end up where the sheriff and the treasurer of that county are going to issue notices of default, and If the people don't pay then there's going to be a levy made on the property, and then that property is going to be sold for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar. So here's what I want you to think about. What if you could buy residential land you want, or recreational land that you want, or land for farming, agricultural that you want, and you could buy it for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar? That's what's happening at tax defaulted auctions. Folks, if the land price is worth $5,000 an acre and you can buy it for $500 an acre at the auction, you tell me. If you can buy for 10 cents on the dollar and then resell it for 50 or 60 cents on the dollar, how many of those would you want to do? So that's a good business that anybody can involve themselves in. Now, you're not going to get rich by next Friday, but it's happening today. Before you do that click, I want to keep you here just for a second, because I want to tell you I've created an interactive map and auction calendar that you'll want to know about. And right below me, you're going to see that. Now, that interactive map and auction calendar will show you all of the states in the United States and all the counties and what you can do. You're going to be surprised. Folks, in the small population counties, there's going to be dozens, even hundreds of tax defaulted properties at auction. In the large population counties, there's going to be hundreds of properties, even thousands of tax defaulted properties to sell. So go ahead, as soon as we finish, just go right below me. And if you would like to know where and when those auctions take place, we're going to show you how to do that.